You guys a lot. Welcome to the session. Jyoti, Ritika, welcome. Suchi, how are you doing, kids? How are you doing? How was your Diwali? Yes? How was your Diwali, kids? I hope it was awesome and you guys had a wonderful time. So, good evening, everyone. Today we are going to continue the session. For last 2 days there was some technical error because of which we could not conduct these sessions, but yes, today we are meeting definitely, and we are going to have a wonderful session, amazing session. So if you guys remember, we were discussing the chapter The Living World. And what are we going to do? We are going to continue. It's the second session. Yes, it's the second session today. In today's session, we are going to discuss about the biodiversity and taxonomy. So there are, various wide type of animals. There are various type of plants in the nature. This is known as diversity. So we are going to talk about the diversity and taxonomy. What is taxonomy? It's all about today's session. Yes, we are having a smart board today. So welcome Savita, welcome. So today we are going to start with the second session. Before we start the session, let's move forward. Let me introduce myself. I'm Himanshi Singh, your botany expert. Rest everything is on your screen. Yes, I missed you a lot, Vinay. I missed all my kids. Because of some problem, we could not take the session for 2 days. And now after Diwali, we are meeting. I hope your Diwali was great. You guys had an amazing time. Yes? I hope you guys had an amazing time. Yes. A new look for my kids. So let's start with today's session. Before we proceed forward, all I want you guys to know is about the Vedantu. Please like, share and subscribe. This channel, and I want you guys to share the video with your friends, because a healthy competition, will help in your evolution. You will do much better. Your performance is going to increase. Your performance will be much better. So share the video with your friends and have a healthy competition. Now let me introduce you guys to the Vedantu Pro subscription. I want every one of you to go for this Vedantu Pro subscription. What is this Pro subscription? Let's understand the Pro subscription. In this Pro subscription, kids, we are going to provide you with 5,000 plus hours of interactive session. Now, what is the interactive session? You can interact with your teacher. All your doubts will be solved instantaneously. You don't have to worry about, oh, what is going to happen with my doubts. Your doubts will be solved. Other than this, you will have a doubt app. You will have a special section where your teachers are going to help you with all your doubts. So none of your doubt is going to stay with you. Always make sure that your doubts are gone. Yes, always give your doubts to your teacher. This is the best gift that you can do. Don't keep your doubts with yourself. Secondly, we are going to give you the test and the assignment series. In this test and assignment series, you are going to solve 10,000 plus questions. And when you are dealing with such a good question bank, you will understand your area of improvement. Yes, I am not good with this chapter. I am not good with that chapter. What are you going to do then? Once you know, okay, fine, I need some revision in this chapter. What's the next step? We are here for you. In this Pro subscription, we are going to provide you with the micro courses as well. Now, what's a micro course? Let me explain it to you. This micro course is like a revision class, or for example, like it's a chapter based course where you can understand the chapter. The best teachers of India are going to teach you on this platform. That teacher is going to explain this chapter again to you. You can always join a micro course. It's a chapter based session. Following this, the best teachers are going to teach you. The best experienced teachers of India are going to teach you, and you will have the liberty to choose the language, whichever language you want to choose. You can go for English, you can go for Hindi, whichever language suits you better. So this is what Vedantu is going to provide you in this Pro subscription. I want you kids to go for it. Please go for it. You will be amazed how and what a wonderful teachers are teaching you at this Vedantu. Thank you, Sagar. Thank you so much. Yes, kids, a new hairstyle. So I hope I'm looking great. Let's move forward. Welcome to the session, Sanjeev. Welcome. Fine, let's move forward. Now we have the pro subscription for different kids. Different kids are preparing. There are different sections of kids, and we understand the requirement of every student. So we have 3 pro subscriptions. We have 3 plans for the pro subscription. You kids can, whosoever is preparing for 2021, we have this NEET pro subscription for you guys as well. The plans are for 1 month, 3 months and 6 months. According to your requirement, you can select the plan. Yes, you can select the plan. The prices are over here. And you know what, kids, I'm going to provide you with the 20% off. I'm going to provide you with 20% off promo code. And after this discount, the prices will be further less. All you have to pay is this much per day. And every day you are going to study all the 3 subjects. Yes, every day you are going to study all the 3 subjects. So it's a very good opportunity for you guys. I think you guys should definitely go for this. We have planned for NEET 2022 as well. The packages are much bigger. Yes, for 1 month, 3 months and 12 months as well. Depending upon your requirement, you can go for any of the plan. The prices are further very less. Whatever you want to select, you can go with it. So moving forward. Now we have planned for our droppers as well. Yes, the amazing droppers who are preparing for this examination again. We understand your requirement. We know that you have less amount, a lot of syllabus to revise, and the plans are different for you guys as well. So please go for these plans. Select whatever fits to your requirement, and the prices are over here. Now let's move forward, and we are going to continue with our chapter. Before this, I want to tell you how to avail the 20% off. Use the promo code HSPRO. All you have to do is, the link is given in the description box. Click on the link, you will be directed to the website. On the website, use your suitable plan, whatever goes well with you. Select the plan, use the promo code HSPRO, and you can avail flat 20% off on this pro subscription. So let's move forward. Now we are going to start with our chapter. Yes, we are going to continue with our chapter, that is the living world. In the previous session, we have already discussed about what is living and what is non-living. I hope you guys have gone through that session. And today we are going to talk about the diversity and about the taxonomy. So please hit the like button. Let me know if I'm audible and visible to everyone. Give me some thumbs up and the pink hearts, kids. Yes. Welcome to the session, Sajan. Welcome, Avinash. Welcome. Welcome, kids. Yashwant, welcome. Hello, Priya. How are you doing? Bache, how are you doing? I'm great. I'm doing great. What about you guys? Yes, very nice. Hello, Sahana. Welcome to the session. I'm doing great, Yashwant. What about you? Good evening, Rahul. Good evening. Yes, give me some hearts and thumbs up. Welcome to the session, Vinay. Welcome. Fine. Very good. So let's start with today's session. In today's session, the first thing that we are going to talk about is the diversity. So there is such a huge diversity. Whenever we wake up, we see so many plants, we see so many animals in our day. What is this? This is diversity. Now the word biodiversity, what does bio means? What does this word bio means? Bio means living, yes. All the things that are living are known as bio. And diversity is the variety, the different variety of living organisms that we see around us, the different variety of bacteria, the different variety of animal, plants that we see around us. Have you ever imagined how many plants you are watching every day? Have you ever counted it? No? Yes. How many of you have done this? Have you ever wondered, or have you ever, calculated how many plants you are seeing every day? Have you ever done this? If someone has done, please let me know. We are not doing this. We are not doing this, and we are not aware. We are not aware about the diversity that we see around us. But every day you are watching, you are seeing a different variety. Yes, every day you are watching thousands, hundreds of plants around you. So this is the diversity, this is biodiversity, the number of species that are known and described. We have looked after so many species, and the number is 1.7 to 1.8 million. Can you imagine such a wide variety, such a huge diversity? So many animals, plants and organisms have been identified by us. We already know that this much exists in the nature. We already know how do they look and what are their descriptive characteristics. So this is a huge number, and there are lot many which are waiting to be explored. Yes, there are lot many which are waiting to be explored. So the number is 1.7 to 1.8 million. Remember the number, bachcho. Question has been asked, what is the expected or the known diversity, the biodiversity? 1.7 to 1.8 million. Moving forward. Now we are going to talk about taxonomy. So I am going to give you an imaginary situation. Let's imagine that we are friends, yes, and we are sitting in a school. We are enjoying at the school the good memories, yes, the good memories, the past days. So we are in the school enjoying, and what happens? I am very excited. I bought okra for the lunch. I am very excited. I bought okra for lunch, and I'm like, oh, you know, it's very tasty. It's so delicious. It's amazing. We are going to have an amazing lunch today. And when the lunch time comes, when I open the lunch box, you are like, what is this? What is this? This is bindi. This is ladyfinger. Yes, you are kind of disappointed. Like, you were excited for this bindi. I eat it every day. You were so disappointed. What is this? What is this, Himanshi Ma'am? What is this? I thought we were going to have something amazing in the lunch. And what we saw was bindi or the ladyfinger. Now there are so many names. Why was there a confusion? Why was there a confusion? Yes, because we have different names. I call it by okra. You might be calling it as ladyfinger, or someone is going to call it as bindi. Yes, someone is calling it as bindi. So what is going to happen? Because of the different names, there is confusion. Now imagine how much confusion this thing creates for the scientist. Whenever they are working on a scientific, on a research work, they are looking after something. It's so confusing. It's so confusing. So scientists came up with the idea. Yes, they came up with the idea, and what they did, they introduced taxonomy. They introduced taxonomy. So what is taxonomy? Taxonomy is the science of naming, describing and classifying the organisms. We are going to identify them. We are going to give them a particular name which is valid all over the world. No matter where I am sitting, no matter where I am standing, if I am using a scientific name, it always represents or it always describes a specific species. So taxonomy is the science of naming, describing and classifying the organism. We are going to classify, we are going to group them on the basis of their similarities, dissimilarities, how the organisms look like. And the characteristics, when we are classifying them, we are going to make groups, right? We are going to make groups. Just a second. Whenever we are classifying, we are going to create groups. And these groups are known as taxa. The groups are known as taxa. The different groups, kingdom, phylum, division, species, genus, all of them are the groups in which we are classifying the organism, and they are known as taxa. The groups are known as taxa. Is it clear to everyone? If you guys are understanding, please give me the thumbs up. Yes. Is it clear to everyone? Yes, kids. Fine, let's proceed forward. Now, how are we going to describe the organism? How are we going to know the characteristics of the organism? So, we are going to look after the internal structure of the organism. We are going to look after the internal structure of animal or the plant or the organism. How does it look internally? So, we are going to look after Anatomy of the organism. We are going to look into the internal structure, how the organism look internally, what are the different types of cell, what is the organization level. Finally, we are going to look for morphology, the external characters, how the organism look externally. We are going to look for the external character, that is morphology. Once the morphology is done, we are also going to look after the cell structure. Is the cell prokaryote? Is the cell prokaryote or is it a eukaryote? Finally, we are going to look all the characters. We are going to look after anatomy. We are going to look after morphology. We are going to look the cellular organization. We are going to look after the embryology or its development, how the organism is developing. So we are going to look after everything. And the last thing is the ecological information. Every organism is going to perform some specific functions. Yes, every organism is going to perform some specific function. And what is going to happen? You have to look after those specific interactions as well. For example, like we are interacting right now, the plant are doing some ecological function. They are doing photosynthesis. They are releasing carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. What is going to happen? All these things are the ecological interaction that the organism is doing. All of them are the ecological interaction. So we are going to look after their ecological interaction as well. Is it clear to everyone? Give me thumbs up. Is it clear to everyone? Yes? Give me the thumbs up, kids, if it's clear to you guys. Very good. So let's proceed forward. There are three basic things that we are going to do in taxonomy, that is identification, nomenclature and classification of the organism. First thing first, when I am saying that I bought okra in my lunch, you have to look after it. You have to make sure that, yes, is it bhindi? Is it ladyfinger? You have to identify the organism. So the first thing that we need to do is identification. After identification, we are going to give it a particular name, a nomenclature. We are going to call that species by a specific name. Once the nomenclature is done, we are going to classify the organism on the basis of their characteristics. Let's proceed forward. The first thing that we are going to do is we are going to do identification. We have to identify, okay, is this ladyfinger only? Yes, we have to identify it. We have to identify a particular plant. For example, like this coconut plant resembles a lot to a palm. Yes, it resembles a lot to a palm. It resembles a lot to a palm. So if I am describing the plant, there will be few common characteristics and we might get confused. Are we talking about coconut or are we talking about the palm? But every organism, every species is going to have a specific character. Yes, every species is going to have a specific character and we have to look after that specific character, which will help us in identifying the organism. So it is the process of recognizing an individual organism. We have to identify a particular individual organism. For this, we are going to use the taxonomical aids. We are going to use botanical gardens, zoological gardens, monographs, etc., which we will deal in the next session. So first thing, we have to identify the organism. First thing is identification of the organism. Once we are done with the identification process, what are we going to do? We will move forward and we are going to look after the nomenclature. We have to give it a particular name. So nomenclature is a system of naming living organisms. It's a system of naming living organisms such that a particular organism is known by same name all over the world. All over the world, if I am saying Solanum tuberosum, I am talking about potato. No matter in which country I am. Yes, no matter in which country I am, all over the world it is known by a specific name. Yes, it's given by a specific name, right? So this is nomenclature. A scientific name will be given to a species, and that species, that particular species will be known by the same name all around the world, no matter which country you are staying. Okay, now tell me one thing. How many languages are there in India? How many languages are there in India? How many languages are there in India? Good evening, Vikas. Welcome to the session. There are a lot of languages. Yes, different state is going to have different language. Every 20 plus, 28 plus, 24 plus languages are in India. Now what is going to happen? Different language will have a different name. It will create a confusion. So scientists came up with this idea of nomenclature, that we will call a species by its particular name, and the name will be known as scientific name, which is applicable, valid all around the world, which is applicable all around the world. Fine, let's move forward. Yes, here comes the wonderful scientist Carolus Linnaeus. Carolus Linnaeus gave the binomial nomenclature. He is known as the father of taxonomy. Carolus Linnaeus is known as father of taxonomy. Just a second. So Carolus Linnaeus is known as father of taxonomy. He is the father of taxonomy. He did tremendous work. Amazing work was done by this scientist Carolus Linnaeus. He worked a lot for this taxonomy. He gave the binomial classification. He gave the binomial nomenclature. I'm really sorry. He gave the binomial nomenclature. He gave the classification of the plants and animals, and he did a tremendous work. So we call him as the father of taxonomy. He introduced this binomial nomenclature. Now what is binomial? The word bi means two. Yes, it means two. And nomial means the part or the names. The organism is going to have two names. For example, like if you're talking about me, I am Himanshi Singh. Yes, I am Himanshi Singh. Himanshi is my first name and Singh is my second name. Yes, Himanshi is my first name and Singh is my second name. So there are two parts. Yes, there are two components. There are two components in my name. Similarly, a specific name, a species name or the scientific name will have two parts. There will be two parts in a particular name. So let's discuss about it. It was given by Carolus Linnaeus. Remember the scientist Carolus Linnaeus, known as the father of taxonomy. So for example, like mango. Yes, mango is the most liked fruit, I think. It's the most loved fruit. Everyone loves mango, right? So this mango, scientifically it is known as Magnifera indica. It is known as Magnifera indica. What is Magnifera? Its first name. What is indica? Its second name. So there are two names, Magnifera and indica. The common name is mango. Now no matter where I am standing, if I am saying Magnifera indica, I am talking about mango. I am talking about mango only. So this is binomial nomenclature which was given by Carolus Linnaeus. Let's look into it. There are two components. The first name was Magnifera. The second name was indica. So the generic name is the first name. Generic name is the first name, that is Magnifera. That is Magnifera. Magnifera is the first name which represents the genus, and it is known as generic name which represents the genus of the species. Which genus does the species belong to? Magnifera. Solanum. Yes, Solanum is the genus which is representing the generic name, which is represented by the generic name or the genus name. Specific epithet is going to represent the species. Indica represents the species name. Which species are we talking about? So specific epithet is the species name and generic name is the genus name. For example, like Solanum tuberosum. Solanum is the generic name and tuberosum is the specific epithet. As simple as that. So there are two components, generic name and the specific epithet. Let's proceed forward. Now some rules were given. You cannot give a name just like that. There are few rules to follow. You have to follow some rules whenever you are doing this nomenclature. Yes, because it's for 2022 as well. Fine, let's move forward. So the rules, the universal rules. For example, like just imagine you were walking in the park and you found a new species. You saw something really amazing and you were like, oh, this might be a new species. And it comes out to be a new species. Now you have to give it a name. You want to give it a name. You have to follow few rules for this. So nomenclature have some rules that you guys have to follow. The first thing is the language. In which language are you going to give this name? So the biological names are generally given in the language Latin. Why are we using Latin? So they are given in Latin language and written in italics. So whenever we are typing it, they will be italicized. Now, why are they using this language Latin? Why not any other language? They could have used an English as well. It's the most common language, yes? Very good, Shweta, because it is a dead language. Now, when I'm saying Latin is a dead language, it's a dead language. What does this dead language actually means? It's not in use and there are no grammatical changes. For example, like we used to say education and now we are saying education. We used to say vitamins and now we say vitamins. So there are few changes. Yes, English is changing, it's evolving. This dead language is never going to change. It's always going to remain same. Hence, it's the perfect language for botanical nomenclature. Whenever we are going to give a name, a scientific name to a species, we are going to use this language, that is Latin. It doesn't matter from which language we are using the word. For example, like, this scientist Carolus Linnaeus, whom we call as the father of taxonomy. His real name was Carl von Linné. He Latinized his name. He converted his name in this Latin language and now we call him as Carolus Linnaeus. Yes, now we call him as Carolus Linnaeus. So such an amazing love, yes, such an amazing love towards their work. His name actually was Carl von Linné and we call him as Carolus Linnaeus. So any name, it doesn't matter in which language the name is, what's the origin of the name, we can always Latinize it. Second thing is the first word in the biological name represents the genus, which we have already known. Yes, we have already studied about it. The generic name represents the genus and the second part represents the specific epithet, that is the species name. Moving forward, both the words in the biological name when handwritten are separately underlined. For example, like if I want to write magnifera, I am writing magnifera indica. I will underline both the names separately. Magnifera and indica will be underlined separately. Moving forward, if we are printing them, we have to italize them. They will be italicized, as you can see over here. Magnifera, it's magnifera indica, it's italicized. This represents their Latin origin. This represents the Latin origin of the name, that we have converted the name into the Latin language. These rules are very important. Yes, these rules are very important for you guys, whosoever is going to give your school examination, the subjective examinations. If you are not going to follow the rules, your marks will be gone. So listen to all the rules very carefully. The first thing is their Latin origin, genus name and the species name. Finally, whenever you are writing them, you have to underline them separately. You have to underline them separately. The first word denoting the genus starts with a capital letter. It will start with a capital letter, as you can see over here, Magnifera. The M is written in capital letter. So whenever you are going to write a scientific name, the first alphabet will be always capital. Moving forward, the specific epithet. The first name of the specific epithet will start with a smaller letter. It will start with a smaller letter. For example, like indica. Yes, the I is small. The I is small. So whenever we are writing a scientific name, always follow these rules. Are the rules clear to you guys? Any doubts? Please give me a thumbs up if everything is clear to you guys. Yes, kids, is it clear to you? Yes. Very good, very good. I can see the thumbs up. Very good, kids. So let's proceed forward. Let's move forward. Now, the universal rules. There are some more rules that you have to follow. What about the scientist? What about the author who is giving the name? What about you who just discovered a new species? Yes, you guys discovered a new species. So we have to give a credit. We have to give a credit to the scientist or the author. And for this, we are going to write their name at the end of the scientific name. At the end of the scientific name, we are going to represent the scientist or the author who gave the name. So the name of the author, the scientist who is giving the name, appears after the specific epithet. After the specific epithet, that is at the end of the biological name, and is written in abbreviated forms. What is abbreviation? Small forms. Yes, in the small forms, we are going to write it in the small form. For example, like LINN represents the Linnaeus. It represents the scientist Carolus Linnaeus. So Magnifera indica was given by Linnaeus. The scientist's name, the author's name is written. For example, like your Himanshi Ma'am discovers a new plant and she gives the name X and Y. Now to denote my name, we might use the abbreviation HIM. We might use the abbreviation HIM, and we have to underline both the generic and the specific epithet. Yes, we have to underline both the generic and the specific epithet. Finally, we are going to write the name of the author in abbreviated form. In small form, in the short form, we are going to write the name. For example, like Lin represents the Linnaeus. Lin represents the Linnaeus. The scientist's name should be in Roman letters. We are not going to italize it. We are not going to italize it. So it should be in the Roman letters. It should be in the Roman letters. Yes, always. Always remember, kids, whenever you are writing the author name, it should be in Roman letter. We are not going to underline it. We are not going to underline it. We are not going to italize it, because it's not in Latin language. Because it's not in Latin language. Yes, very good. Now there is one important thing that you have to remember: the tautonyms. What are tautonyms? So tautonyms are the scientific names which are repetitive. The generic name and the specific epithet are going to be same. The scientific names such as gorilla, yes, the scientific name of gorilla, in which the genus and the species name are same. Both the names are same. The genus name and the species name, genus name and the specific epithet are same. Such type of names are known as tautonyms. And you know what? These tautonyms are allowed only in zoological nomenclature. Only in zoological nomenclature these tautonyms are allowed. They are not allowed in botany. For botanical nomenclature,